The Great Tribulation is the final, intense period before Jesus' return, where God's people face severe tests. The one taken, one left passage, Matthew 24:40-41, in the Bible, part of Jesus' Olivet Discourse, describes his second coming, but context suggests the taken are swept away in judgment, like the wicked in Noah's flood, while the righteous are left to inherit the renewed earth, differing from typical rapture with this contextual understanding, seeing Christ's coming as a literal, visible event where the wicked are taken away to destruction and the saved remain on a purified earth before the final resurrection, emphasizing that the taken are the lost, not the saved. Biblical context and Greek meaning. The parable. Jesus compares his coming to the days of Noah, Matthew 24:37-39. In Noah's day, the flood took them all away, the wicked, while Noah and his family were left to survive. The Bible doesn't support the common dispensational view of a literal 7-year tribulation preceded by a secret rapture. Instead, the Bible teaches the saints endure the entire period, which climaxes with Christ's visible second coming, seeing the Great Tribulation as the latter half, 3.5 years, of a broader time of trouble, marked by the Antichrist's rise and intense persecution, but with God's protection for his faithful. The Great Tribulation. Duration and timing. The time, times, and half a time, 3.5 years, of Daniel and Revelation as the second half of a larger end-time period, focusing on the intensity of God's final judgments and Satan's wrath. The saints' experience. Believers go through the Great Tribulation, not escape it. It's a time of testing where God's people are protected but not removed from the world, leading to Christ's visible second coming. Split into 2 parts. Thematic. Yes, conceptually, there's a division. First half, associated with the rise of the Antichrist and the breaking of a covenant, Daniel 9:27. Second half, the Great Tribulation, the most intense period, 42 months, 3.5 years, marked by the beast's power, intense persecution, like the mark of the beast, and culminating in Christ's return. Purpose: to test faith, finalize God's judgment on the wicked, and fulfill prophecy before Christ establishes his kingdom. In essence, the Great Tribulation is the climax of Earth's history, a short but fierce period of testing where the faithful endure until Jesus returns in glory, not a separate event before a secret removal. One taken and one left is that the wicked are taken away in judgment, and the righteous are left, remain on earth, and then received by Christ at his visible second coming. Christ's return is a literal, visible event that happens in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye. On one taken and one left clarifies that the passage, Matthew 24:40-41, Luke 17:34-36, should be understood in the context of Noah's flood, which Jesus references just before these verses. In the days of Noah, those who were taken away were the wicked who perished in the flood. Noah and his family, the righteous, were left, remained safely in the ark. Similarly, at the second coming, the wicked will be taken away for judgment, to where the carcass is, as implied in Luke 17:37, and the righteous left behind to enter Christ's kingdom on the cleansed earth. The Greek word used for taken in Matthew 24:40-41, paralambano, implies being taken to oneself, to safety or close fellowship, while the word for took in Matthew 24:39, airo, in the Noah context means to carry off or remove in judgment. On Christ's second coming, that Christ's second coming would be a literal, sudden, and visible event, not a secret rapture. Visible and universal, the return of Christ will be seen by every eye. It will be a global event, not a quiet disappearance of people. In a vision, a small black cloud appearing which grew glorious and still more glorious till it was a great white cloud, with Jesus seated upon it, surrounded by angels. In a twinkling of an eye. The change for the living righteous into immortality is a sudden event, occurring in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the sound of the last trumpet, 1 Corinthians 15:52. This sudden transformation is part of the public, cataclysmic second coming, not a separate, secret event. Gathering of the saints. At this time, the righteous dead are resurrected, and together with the living righteous who have been changed, are caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. 1 Thessalonians 4:17.